Whirlpool 29-inch gas dryer not starting. If the problem with your Whirlpool 29-inch gas dryer is that it is not starting in any of the cycles that you try it on, you will need to check the following parts until you find out what part is preventing the dryer from starting. Disconnect the dryer from the wall outlet and connect the hair dryer that you know is in good working order in the outlet. Turn the hair dryer on. If the hair dryer works okay, the problem is in the dryer. If the hair dryer doesn't work, the problem could be on the fuse or circuit breaker box, or in the wall outlet. Do the following to check the power cord. Make sure the dryer is disconnected from the wall outlet. Remove this cover plate to get access to the wires in the cord. Use a screwdriver like this to disengage the cord from the cabinet. Put the cord plug in this position and the other end of the cord like this. Set your multimeter on the lower scale to read ohms. Take a reading between the left terminal on the plug and the terminal with the white wire on it. The reading should be close to 0 ohms. Take a reading between the right terminal on the plug and the terminal with the black wire on it. The reading should be close to 0 ohms. If any of the readings is infinity, the cord is bad and must be replaced. To check the start switch, do the following. With the dryer disconnected from the wall outlet, go behind the dryer and remove the controls access panel. Disconnect the wires from the start switch. Set your multimeter on the lowest scale to read ohms. Have someone push on the start switch button and hold while you take a reading with your multimeter. Take a reading between the two terminals on the switch. The reading should be close to 0 ohms. If the reading is infinity, the switch is bad and must be replaced. Another way to check it is by using a jumper wire like this one. To make one, get a piece of wire and attach two insulated alligator clip on the ends. With the wires connected to the switch, connect the jumper wire on the terminals of the wires on the switch. Like this. Set the timer on the beginning of a cycle. If when you plug the dryer on the wall outlet, the dryer starts running, that tells you that the start switch is bad and must be replaced. Disconnect the jumper wire and replace the start switch. Don't use the jumper wire as a replacement for the switch. It's not safe to use the dryer like that. To check the contacts inside of the timer, do the following. Make sure the dryer is disconnected from the wall outlet. Set the timer on the beginning of a cycle, with the controls panel removed, and your multimeter on the lower scale to read ohms. Take a reading between the black and blue wires connected to the timer, like this. The reading should be close to 0 ohms. If the reading is infinity, the timer is bad and must be replaced. To run the motor direct to find out if it is good or bad, you will need to make a test cord like this. Take an extension cord and attach 2/4 male quick disconnect terminals. Like this. You could get them from a hardware store or an electronics store like Radio Shack. With the dryer disconnected from the wall outlet and the controls panels removed, disconnect these wires from the timer. Connect one leg of the test cord to the blue wire and use electrical tape to insulate the connection. Disconnect this wire from the start switch. This wire could be white and red, or it could be a white wire. Connect the other leg of the test cord to the wire. Insulate the connection with electrical tape. Connect the test cord to the wall outlet. If the motor starts and runs okay, let it run for 1 hour. When the motor complete an hour of running, disconnect the test cord from the wall outlet. Let the motor rest for 5 seconds and reconnect the test cord into the wall outlet. If the motor starts and runs okay, then the motor is good. If the motor won't start, or it has a hard time starting, the motor is bad and must be replaced. Open the dryer door and check the door switch plunger or actuator. If it is broken, the switch is bad and must be replaced. If the plunger is not broken, do the following to check the switch out. If the plunger is not broken, do the following to check the switch out. Close the dryer door. Make sure the dryer is disconnected from the wall outlet. Remove the 2 screws under the lint filter cover. With a screwdriver, open the top panel. With the multimeter set on the lowest scale to read ohms, disconnect the door switch from the wire harness. And take a reading between these 2 terminals. The reading with the door closed should be close to 0 ohms. If the reading is infinity, the switch is bad and must be replaced. Another way to check to see if the door switch is the reason why the dryer is not starting is to use a jumper wire like this to bypass the switch. Take a piece of wire and apply solder to the ends and shape it to fit the door switch wire harness. Insert the jumper wire on the terminals of the blue and white wires, like this, and use electrical tape to insulate the connection. Make sure that the wires are away from the spinning drum. Close the top panel. Plug in the dryer in the wall outlet. Set the timer on a drying cycle, and turn the dryer on. If the dryer runs with the jumper wire, then that tells you that the door switch is bad and must be replaced. Warning: use the jumper wire just to test the dryer, and not as a replacement for the switch. With the jumper wire, the dryer will run with the door opened and a child could open the door and get in the dryer and get hurt.